Alright, we're back here working on the RX-7. For those you really don't know, 1989 RX-7 TurboII chassis. It's going to end up being like a hill climb build. You've been following along, you've seen, done the whole interior, cleaned up the engine bay, getting that ready for the engine to pop in. We're just going to do an NA engine. But today we're going to start finishing up on the fuel tank. Got it painted last time, got it set up, cleaned out. Working on painting the shroud. While the tank's out, we're going to go ahead and change the differential fluid as well. Get that all set up, clean up anything down there that might be hard to access once the tank's back in. So let's go ahead and get to it. Taking some time to just clean up this panel there that goes with the fuel tank. Lots of rust here, so I'm just going to hit it with the wire wheel, hit it with some paint. That way it's it doesn't rust out like the rest of the metal down there. But yeah, not gonna really film it, just gonna knock it out real quick, and then we'll get back to everything else. Alright, so this is all done. Got it sprayed, all the rust got taken off, so that'll last a lot longer. Don't worry about getting holes in that. It's part of the bracketry and the heat shielding and all that. Alright, tank is done. That was done last time. I started spraying the brackets a little bit, just kind of blindly, so I don't know how well the coating is. The outside's good, but underneath it needs a little more work, so I'll do some more of that. Got the gear oil for the differential, one with the Valvoline Advanced, 7590 with the limited slip, all set there. Got the appropriate size hose for the vent for the tank, so I can get the differential changed, get the vent tube on there. I can start working on getting the tank back up into the car, so that'll be good there. Get the hanger on, get the lines hooked up. I gotta confirm which line goes where on both the hanger and on the vehicle side. But I'll get working on that. I'll bring it back in here once some of that's set up. Alright, just got that cleaned up a little bit more, let that dry. I'll start getting the stuff together and do the differential. Alright, so we didn't end up filming this, a little bit of task creep here. So I was messing with the fuel door, it wouldn't pop open. Found out it was missing the pusher. So I went ahead and created a little bracket for it. So I'll go ahead and get that installed. Get the popper working again, because I don't want to have to pry that open every time I need to get fuel. Alright, real easy here. So I have the nut that went on to the release. First off, got this little plunger spring off of Amazon. Nothing fancy. Actually barely works, to be honest, just because it's a little bit deeper than something you'd want. Thought I'd have to modify a little more, but fits in the bracket quite well. Actually tighten her down this time. She's on there, so the door will push against that and that pops it right out. Just gets it bolted in here. I actually could not find anybody who made a replacement for these. I didn't bother reaching out to any of the normal sources. See if I could source one. I figured it'd be way overpriced, and I had extra metal sitting around. And actually doesn't look too bad. Not that anybody would rather see it. Right, just gotta get this tightened up. And then make sure that closes. And that's a little bit too far out. See if I can't loosen it up a little more. Basically gets it to the point where it barely works, But now door sits flush. We're good there, and if I reach around to the release, bang, pops open. And that job's there done. Alright, trying to get you in an area you can see. Just kind of bolted the straps up for now. Get them out of the way. It's a little easier to reach in here. So, as always, try to get your top one out first. Oh, yeah. I have to one here. I'm not sure if this is the right side. It feels like down here, not feel good here. Let's say 2. I'm still there, and it's huge enough for that. So, get some bit. Oh, you know, it's gonna work, but it doesn't work. I'll try it out. See if I can get it out. I'm very good. Alright, I think I'm gonna have to move you out of the way so I can get some better leverage. I'll be right back with you. Alright, we're back. If you could smell it, it definitely smells like 30-year-old fluid. Oh, knocked you over there. There we go. Had to gun it off. I'm gonna do the bottom one here now. See what the fluid looks like. And actually has more color to it than I expected. But yeah, definitely nasty. I wonder how well that shows up. Can I get you in here? Yeah. Pretty old looking. Pretty terrible. Yeah, so while that was going, while it's draining here, I'm kind of working some other stuff here. The bumper brackets on the bottom are not secure, so I'm just gonna zip tie them on for now. Get that taken care of. I did, before we started doing this part, I did go with the wire wheel and kind of hit all the little areas that have some rust on them. Haphazardly, didn't really try that hard. But I'm gonna spray that to when we get out of here. That way, prevent a little more of the rust. At this point, it's trying to save whatever I can. Alright, the bumper's secure. I see that's starting to finish up there. Trying not to get rust in my eyes. Do have my safety glasses on. No, you can't see me right now. I don't always wear them, but working into this rusty thing, especially when you're on a creeper and your face is just right there, yeah, it'd be the stupidest thing not to. I've had rust in my eyes way too many times to want to deal with that. Yeah, safety squints only go so far. Alright, so yeah, just up here with the bumper, secure in the bottom. There's a couple clips there, some of them are broken. So that's good there. And that's wrapping up now. I'll go ahead and go grab the fluid. Work on getting these bolts back in. Be right back. Alright, so I got the bottom plugged back in. Just kind of did that quickly off camera. I got the gear oil good. Where's my wrench? Alright, so capacity should be about 1.5 quarts, give or take. As we all know, you just kind of fill it in. And once again, doing the Valvoline Advanced with the flex fill. I've actually never messed with the flex fill before. I'm usually dealing with tighter areas, so usually using like a pump. So this will be nice. Got the cotton tops, which is a good thing about cutters down here, and squeezing it, making a mess already. Just go ahead and squeeze that in there. Should be this full first one, and then about half of the next one. And definitely pretty easy to get in there. Next. Just a little more than half. Go ahead and, yeah, that's not there. Add just a little bit more. Right there, see the consistent drip? There we go. Way too much. Perfect. As you would say on Bicycle Garage. And this definitely got stuck on the socket, so I have to deal with fighting this off real quick. This was a 23, and I guess that wasn't quite right either. Alright, that one's that. I'll go ahead and fight with this real quick, and I'll bring it back. Alright, so those are back on. This was kind of dirty and dodgy to begin with, so I'll try to scrub it down a little bit. Hit it with some simple green. Grab my rag and just scrub off what I can. That way I can tell if it's leaking better later. Lots of grime. Alright, and finish her off. I'll hit her with a little brake clean. Just breathe it all in. Alright, so that's it there. I'm gonna get this cleaned up, grab my can of spray, just kind of hit everything around here, then probably move on to prepping the tank. Hold your breath for safety. Eventually we'll fix the floor here, or at least seal it with some silicone or something. That's not everything. Call it good enough. Alright, time to finish up the prep on the tank here. So, just got this length of fuel line. Go ahead and get this put on here. This is the breather, so typically go to the charcoal canister, which my car did not have one when I purchased it, nor do I care to put it back on. It's a rotary, it always smells of something, so I'm not worried about fumes. It's too old to care about emissions. It's a rotary, it also doesn't care about emissions. So, go ahead and put this on here, I'll try to catch something. Alright, and before it kind of stopped here, just kind of hang there, because before I cut it off of the car. So for this, we'll just drape it over the side. Once it's facing below the tank, I'll just go ahead and cut it down there. And that's basically how it's going to sit. It'll keep some of the fumes out of the car. And away, reduce it a bit, since the floor is not sealed by carpet or anything like that. Any bit of prevention will help. But yeah, so with that, the tank itself is ready to go. It's about as clean as it's going to get. It's prepped as good as it's going to get. Once everything down there is dry, I can pull the straps back down and get ready to put this back up. Hopefully I can do it myself. If not, I'll have to wait till my buddy shows up. Help me get it in there. But it shouldn't be that hard. It's light enough to lift. But I think that's where we're gonna end it for now. Probably come back in here next week or when I'm available. Finish up some more stuff, get this tank in. Alright, it's been a few days since the last clip. I'm just going to get back to getting this tank in. It's pretty hot out today, so I'm not going to do too much. I just want to get the tank up and then maybe work on the pump and all that going in, possibly. We'll see how far that goes. Alright, so I'll get this set up. We'll start getting it in place. Got to bring the straps back down. Lift the tank in place, strap it up, and get that plate on. Shouldn't be too bad, but you know how things go. Straps are down. It looks like it has a little hook on it that might actually make it easy to kind of get it locked in place. Only the one side has it though. So we'll see. Alright, that's mounted. Tank's in place. Okay, vent's hanging down good. And check the top, make sure I can get to the wires. Or the hoses, I should say. Alright, up top here, the hoses are in the right spot. Shouldn't have a problem there. I'll have to retest and make sure I know which one's which. No problem there. Let's go ahead and check on the fill neck side. Yep, shouldn't really be a problem here. I'll just manipulate those and get those in place. Alright. Well, actually, let me see if I can do that first before I put the rest of that panel on in case it does need to get dropped. Get you set up here. There you go. so it's harder to reach. Alright, breather's on. Now just the main neck. Would have been nice to have someone up here to be able to manipulate this as we were going. So I'm not really happy. Oh, there it goes. There she goes. She hit some time, but I'll just bring her around. Still caught up on the bottom. And there she goes. And just like that, no problem. Alright, that's installed. We're going to pop under the back and do that pan, or plate, or whatever you want to call it. Alright, everything's mounted up then. So we're all good down here with the tank. Tank's back in place. I think I'm going to do now is the fuel pump. Alright, so took some compressed air, blew the lines. I was pretty sure already it was a shorter one here. So I started with that one and lo and behold it was correct. Alright, so at this point I can go ahead and get this tank, or get the pump dumped in. Like so. Look at the clamps here. Let me do that real quick. Alright, actually there's some old broken screws in here I need to pull out. See if they'll come out. Oh. Alright, first screw's in. I'm glad the one came out over here, since it was two next to each other that broke. At least if this one back in place, it should hold it. Yeah, she's sealed pretty well. Alright, that's locked down. Let's get the hoses on. That one's not so good. That one's not so good either. That's not good. Thought these might have been a little large, but I thought it would be able to cinch them. There we go. It will cinch, it just needs a little extra help. Go. Ain't going anywhere now. Yeah, nice and tight. Shouldn't have no issues holding pressure. All right, pump's fully installed. Just need to get the plate so I can run the wire through and get that plugged in. We can move our attention back over to this side. Check your view. All right. So I just have original spring clamp on this side. Just a minute anyway. I'm just gonna Alright, those are tightened down. Pull these screws out. Alright, that's taken down. Let me go ahead and find this plate and then get the other side put on and we'll wrap this up. Alright, got the plate. Here you go. I didn't show this to you guys before, but this was the original wire. You can see it was burned up. Broke off of the other controller. Yeah, so that one's going right to the bin. Here we got the plate. Just pull right in here, hopefully. Yep, no big deal there. Let's get my screwdriver, pop these out. And with that, the fuel pump job is concluded. Time to move on to something new, exciting. Not exactly sure what that's going to be yet. I know my friend's supposed to come and help out with the engine install soon. Got to get that cleaned up. So yeah, I got the engine sitting right here. Gotta get all this stuff out. I'm gonna, hit it with the pressure washer, clean off all the old grime and everything else from the old car it was in. New flywheel, new clutch assembly. Get that tossed onto the transmission, which I may also do a little bit of cleanup on. I'm not sure. It's not too bad. But yeah, that's it for it. One more step at a time. But she's coming along pretty quick. Remember, like, subscribe. Any suggestions, definitely drop them in there. I do have some news coming in soon. Just waiting on some confirmations of stuff before I make it go live. But yeah, until next time.